We rented a car and drove the coast toward Tuscany. We stopped for a typical roadside treat found at a gas station. Ordering was my first attempt at speaking Italian in Italy. Aided by Google Maps, we followed road signs for Sano, excited to find the entrance to the village. Sano was built in the 1100s, now with a total full-time population of 70 souls. You can see here the streetscape of the ancient village, featuring homes mostly. And this is a blue hour shot of a villa in town, their own driveway, and more blue hour views of the little village. This is a building, a multi-unit dwelling that an agriturismo actually has moved into, and you'll hear more about that a little later. And this section is where we stayed, the Borgo di Sano. And this is the unit we stayed in, Casa Amore. It was an 1100s era monastery that a developer built throughout. This is the front of our villa, owned by the Sano family, and you'll see the frog there in the window, more about frogs later. And this is the living room, complete with a comfortable reclining sofa, flat screen TV, Wi-Fi, all the modern conveniences. This is the kitchen. The 3 windows that you see are the same 3 we saw from the exterior view looking over the terrace. Modern kitchen and a wood-burning stove, which we didn't use. Going downstairs are the bedrooms and bathrooms. This is the master bedroom with a beautiful ceiling. This is the second bedroom, which Deb used as a dressing room with an ensuite bath there for her. And we were greeted with this welcome basket of Chianti Classico wine and olive oil made fresh in the area, pecorino cheese, cinghiale salami, and fresh Tuscan bread. Quite the welcome. We ventured out into the Borgo, where Deb discovered twin cypress trees and olives growing on the olive tree, and our swimming pool, which is in the vineyard. We walked over to the town's park, where I began telling Deb the story of how the park came to be. And the story is that a school teacher went on a television game show and won the prize and took the winnings and dedicated this park by commissioning this bronze sculpture of a frog called a rana drinking from a bottle of Chianti. While I'm telling the story, I'm interrupted with this guy sitting on a bench in the park, assumed was homeless, muttering in Italian. I was ignoring him, but Deb eventually engaged him in conversation, and it turns out he wasn't homeless. He's Massimo Anacini, the son of the very man I was telling Deb about, having created this park. Massimo is also a fellow photographer and an all-around great guy. Far from homeless, Massimo lives in town in a 6-bedroom villa built by his parents, who willed it to him when they passed. We toured the entire home and property overlooking the vineyards. Also in town is a local market, and it's run by Remo, who's the patriarch of the family who owns and operates not only the market, but the attached trattoria. La Grata della Rana is an excellent restaurant with a deep wine vault. City folks from Siena and beyond come here for dinner in the countryside, and you can see Deb is tasting the local Chianti Classico as we prepare for our dinner. Massimo took me out the next day into the Antinori vineyards for a little sunrise photography. And this is a farmhouse, actually adjacent to his villa, that is now a B&B, and it sits in the Antinori vineyard, right at the edge of Sano. We went behind the gates into Antinori's vineyards, where I shot this beautiful sunrise over the hills, and also noticed this really nice villa. Owned by Antinori, they use it for special events and occasionally hosting guests. And this is what Antinori's vineyards looked like a little later in the day as the sun came up a little higher. In another Antinori vineyard nearby is Matthew Spender's villa. He is a British sculptor whose work was presented in Steel and Beauty, directed by his friend Bernardo Bertolucci, and filmed at the Ricasoli estate near Sano. These are Sangiovese grapes ripening in the vineyard next to our pool. Hundreds of birds also feed in the vineyards, evidenced here by the upper cluster. Grapes grow pretty much everywhere in Sano, even over this window of a villa.